First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Catch those springtime vibes all over Arizona. Break out of the winter blues by hitting the water at one of our lake and river parks. Take a hike among the wildflowers. Just make sure to stay on the trails and leave the flowers for the bees. Discover Arizona's best kept secret and visit azstateparks.com/amazing to start your springtime adventure.
I started a new thing about a year ago. I had gone to a to-do list. I live on to-do lists.
I got to be better about this.
Yeah, you do. You got to write crap down, man.
I do.
I mean, apparently there was some point in your life where you didn't have to write stuff down. Now, I'm here to tell you, that time is gone.
It's
in
gone.
Your life.
It was gone a long time ago.
You got to write stuff down.
You are correct.
I mean,
I'm so much more effective and efficient when I have a list to work on.
This is my every day. I'm adding to the list during the show because there's always crap that comes up during the show, and I add to the list. And some days I actually take things off it. I really work to.
That's an accomplishment, right? You're crossing off those things you have to do.
I think I'm enough of an attention deficit person where I still have a list, and I know the list is there, but it's a list of things I don't want to do. But I know I have to do, and I think people who are attention deficit love boxes. You put it in a box, and you put it somewhere where you can't see it, and then you finish the job. It's over with and done, right?
Mom.
Yeah. It doesn't work that way. So I was just observing, and I'm taking my to-do list, and I have to say, it was a holiday weekend. We had family for the first time. It was... we had family for the first time and people in our house really for the first time. So when you're home, the one thing that keeps, at least for me, that keeps the house neat and very, very neat is people are coming over. Oh, no, someone's going to be here. Better clean this up.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But when for the last year no one has been in your house, you
What's
got
the point?
this, my box of mail or a box of things that were on my to-do list. It may have sat beside the couch or something for a couple of weeks. And so a lot of that stuff was, so I had a busy weekend. So my to-do list comes from last Thursday. And what I do is I transfer it to another piece of paper, get rid of the stuff that I've already done, and then add some things to it. My observation this morning on my to-do list, which I think is a good step. I'm 55 years old or 56, whatever I am. And you would think after all these years I would have perfected this. Don't you think?
You now have to put your age on this to-do list.
I will always be. I think on my tombstone it should say, he's a work in progress. That should be on my tombstone. Anyway, one of the problems I found with my to-do list, which might actually support voter ID, is that I put this stuff on my list, and either A, some things I don't know what the abbreviation means,
yep,
or I can't read my own writing. Therein lies, my dilemma. So now I have to make another improvement.
Yeah.
I have to write neater or something.
So I've done this. I can't think of an example off the top of my head right now, but this is like the old Seinfeld episode where he wakes up in the middle of the night, writes down his joke, and then the following day can't remember the context and
Correct.
doesn't know what the line means.
Right.
Yeah, I'll make a note. It'll say something like return by 2 p.m. And I'm like, do I return to work? Do I have to get to the bank by 2?
Mean?
What the hell did I mean?
You knew what it meant when you wrote it.
Sure.
It's almost like saying, I'm going to put this here so I don't forget it.
Yeah.
And then a day later, you're like, where did I put that? Right? That's the problem. And that's where I'm at right now, trying to figure out what half of this crap on here means.
Also,
and I just don't, I have 3 videos. Item number 13, 3 videos. What in the hell is that?
Example.
What is that?
That might be a reference to a
that?
show from last week,
Could
but
be.
you have no idea.
Could be, yes.
Videos you're supposed to send out. Was I supposed to shoot a video? Am I supposed to post a video? Was I going to watch a video?
You know that documentary called 3 Videos. We were going to watch that the other night. Or is it 3 videos I have to produce? Is it the,
3 that you want to watch?
What is it? I do not know what item number 13 is.
And do you also find when you make a list, because I do this inconsistently, I'll have a list for a week and then I won't have a list and then I go back because I'm more efficient, as I mentioned. So then there'll be things on my list where I'm like, okay, I can knock out 1, 2, 3. And then there'll be something further down the list and I'm like, if I'm being honest with myself, I ain't getting to that this week, next week, or next month.
Correct.
But it's on there to remind me in case someone asks me, I can go, it's on my list.
It's on my list. I'm working on it.
There are 2 things. The list in itself is not the solution. The list is a part of the solution.
Correct.
And your list should be realistic. You should have a secondary list of, like I have a secondary list of wishful thinking. It's my wishful thinking list.
Sure.
Like, I'm going to build a cabana in my backyard. Well, interestingly, I kind of did that last summer. But we had time. Who'd have thought we'd have a pandemic and I'd have time to do that? So your list must be realistic. And there was another part of this. I really think we've been lied to since the days when you were just a child. Because you always heard the story about Santa Claus, right? And Santa Claus, he has a list and he checks it twice.
That's right.
Well, that's not efficient. He should have had a list and completed it. There's nowhere in there that says that Santa's completing the list. He's checking it twice. I checked my list 22 times. I still haven't done any of it. Think about it. We've been lied to since the days of Santa Claus, since we were children.
And let's be honest,
don't check the list.
He has elf assistants to help him with that.
You're right.
He's not checking
You're right.
the list.
Yeah, my wife's like, you're on your own with that list. That's not my list. I have my own list over here. Okay, coming up, we'll do a free money question of the day from the Hobica. That's on my list. A free money question of the day from the Hobica Law Firm. And we'll do that at 7:35. Then Rob Ash from the Utica Comets is coming up.
Richard says the list making only is a reflection of getting older.
Well, it may be true. It may be true. But I or that you have a lot of stuff going on. I've always had a list that goes away. It's just maybe I find that I rely on it more today.
And the problem is when you become a slave to the list, it's tough because if you don't put something down and you forget, it's never gonna enter your brain again as a thought to do.
Right.
So you're more apt
is this a self-assessment on your part?
Yeah.
Okay. Make a list, Andrew. I've been telling you that for 5 years. Make a list.
Check it twice.
Have you felt pressured to be productive with your spare time during the pandemic?
Yes.
Have you felt you have? Like extra, like I don't want to have this whole year go by and I didn't do anything with the time that I had. Is that what you're thinking?
No, not necessarily. No, there's just stuff going on, and there's not a better reason to not do the other things.
You got to be productive. According to the survey, 43% of Americans say yes. Another 4% said they don't have any spare time. Okay.
People don't think they have time. I mean, they have time for the things that they want to do. How many people on that list said they don't have spare time? If you looked at their cell phone, it says, you logged 7.5 hours this past week watching stupid YouTube videos.
You're right.
That's almost a full day of work.
That is a lot of time. Another new survey found 42% of Americans have written poetry before. Are you among the 42%?
Not even close.
As a child, no.
Other than school.
No.
We all had to write it in school, right?
No, I haven't.
And a criminal in Florida posted bond and was on his way out of jail when he decided to steal a $60 webcam from someone's desk. He is due in court next month.
Oh, foolish.
Well, just, some people do just the dumbest things. An Army captain in Virginia named Katie Hernandez broke a world record for the fastest mile while wearing a bomb suit. Those bomb suits are very heavy. They weigh about 75 pounds, so it is not easy. She did it in 10 minutes and 23 seconds. The old record for women was just over 11 minutes. Here's audio.
If you've ever done any type of run with weight, You feel good when you're starting, and then all of a sudden you hit a wall, and then after that it's all mental because you know your body is capable of doing it. It just doesn't feel like it wants to move. So at that point, about a lap and a half left, it's all mental. This was supposed to happen about a year ago, so I've been training for a long time. I said running in the bomb suit once a week, and then I've been doing CrossFit 2 times a day, 5 days a week. So it's been fun.
I'll bet it has.
Fun? Yeah, okay.
Well, that's amazing. And have you put on weight?
Yes.
Yeah.
And how much would you say your weight is? Because it's the same thing. She's putting 75 pounds on her body, and she's talking about how difficult that is to run or to even walk with that 75 pounds. If you put on weight, imagine how much weight you're wearing a suit that weighs that amount of weight.
Yeah.
And it's tough on your joints. It's tough on everything.
I did lose weight at the start of the pandemic last March, and, have dwarfed what I lost.
It's been hard. You look at Nagel, somebody who's lost a ton of weight. It's incredible. But you look at so many other people. I think the average American, the average person, has gained weight during the pandemic.
By the way, Brian in Utica saying on the WIBX mobile app, just make a list on my to-do list.
Yeah, right. Tomorrow I'm going to make a list.
I'm going to make this list.
It's on my list. Yeah, it's on my list. That is a common phrase that I throw at my wife. Listen, it's on my list. I'll get to it. I just haven't as of yet. And according to experts, children appear to be more susceptible to at least one of the COVID variants and are more likely to spread it. This is something we can talk to Dr. Hall about. A disease expert at the University of Minnesota named Michael Osterholm has been doing interviews, and he hopes people are taking the UK variant seriously because it does spread in children.
And please understand, this B117 variant is a brand new ballgame. Unlike the previous strains of the virus, we didn't see children under 8th grade get infected often, or they were not frequently very ill. They didn't transmit to the rest of the community. These kids now are really major challenges in terms of how they transmit.
One thing that they've said, and this is something we can talk to Dr. Hall about, is that the more the virus is given the opportunity to create variants, the more the virus is given the opportunity to mutate, the more it has the chance of creating something that am I making any sense? Mm. That it has the possibility of creating something that will not be treatable with the vaccine. I don't know if that's true or not, but I saw that over the weekend. And it's something we can ask Dr. Hall about that.
Put it on the list.
Put it on my to-do list, and I will ask that question.